Hi there, a warm welcome to you. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes, Simon. Thanks for confirming that no problem with the audio. Three topics in tonight's live chat interesting developments in Ethiopia, in the Middle East, and in the Horn of Africa. Simon Tesfaye, first viewer commented, welcome Simon, man from Northerner, back after some time. How are you, man from Northerner? Uh, Let me read a comment, important comment by man from Northern. He says, long time Sajid, fuel in Makele, both petrol and diesel, 1000 bear per liter. Well, 48 hours ago, I told you that in Benishangal Gumuz region, price of petrol is 1000 bir per liter, and price of diesel is around 600 bir per liter. And I told you 3 to 4 days ago what prices in Makale. In Makale, petrol price was 500 bir per liter. And now man from Northern is saying its new price in Makale is 1000 beer per liter. That's alarming. I mean, yes, in Pakistan and several other countries too, fuel prices have been raised, but at least at the price announced by the government, fuel is available. In so many countries, governments have increased prices, and for the given price, for the notified price, fuel is available. But in Ethiopia, it's a different story altogether. Prices not increase considerably, rather there is no fuel. Fuel is available in black market. In black market, price has increased manifold, 5 to 6 times a fuel price has increased in black market. So who is making money? It means those who are in government and those who are close to government people, they can buy fuel at notified price and then sell it in black market. Where is the government? It's very alarming to see what is happening. I did a video, a live chat on that 48 hours ago. I told you about the planting season, cropping season. Farmers have no fuel, tractor owners have no fuel, transporters have no fuel, and prices 1000 bear per liter. That's incredible, to be honest. Bakaji joined. Abdi Razak here says, why are you not talking? Well, just wait a little, Abdi Razak. Auto Africa TV here. Sifano join. Ifani Ahmad here. Elim Gizao, first member who joined. Welcome, Elim. Elim says, did you change equipment? The format has changed. Yeah, I had to change equipment. I had to use new camera, new microphone. Hopefully, I'll improve the equipment. It's a bit costly. I'll have to buy new ones. But so far, at least I'm able to connect with you because live chats were not possible because of technical issues. Now we have solved technical issues. And Davoke says Abiy Ahmed is okay. He's appreciating Fano. Night join, welcome night. Israel Jemane says, Ajit, what will happen to the Amhara region if war starts? Can ENDF keep Amhara region? Yeah, it's a very important question. Sifano says, that is correct, Sajid, including military officers. They buy fuel in tankers mounted on trucks and sell in the black market. That's what I was suspecting. So Sifano is saying that military officers are buying fuel in fuel tankers and selling in black market. Not surprising for me. Hardly surprising for me. And not just military officers. I think PP officials, those close to PP officials, they will be found involved in this ruthless oil trade, oil business, which is like skinning the people of Ethiopia. Alim says, Sajid, use an iPhone, it's more reliable for streaming. Well, I don't buy expensive phones. My phone costs around, I bought it for $100 5 years ago, using the same phone for the last 5 years. Welcoming on join, welcoming on. Sifano says in a Sosa you cannot find fueling stations, but you can buy in black market. Yeah, this is the issue. That deliberately fuel shortage is being created, and those in black market are minting money. Let's start with the first news story about the removal of Ethiopian proxy in Somalia. By the way, Ming Hon stayed in touch with me all day today about the developments in Somalia. You know that in southwest state, regional state of Somalia, a man has been in power since 2018. His name is Abdi Aziz Laftagarin. Southwest state shares a border with Ethiopia. There is deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers in Southwest state. The main airport in Southwest state is controlled by Ethiopian troops. Ethiopian troops are part of African Union peacekeeping mission in Southwest state, which has been fighting Al Shabaab in the area. Ethiopia wants to keep Al Shabaab away from its border. Abdulaziz Laftagarin, the president, had the backing of Ethiopian government, Ethiopian forces. Ethiopia backed Abdulaziz Laftagarin. Ethiopia backs Madobe of Jubaland and Dini of Puntland. Similarly, Ethiopia backed Laftagarin of Southwest State. You know that Southwest State and federal government, they have been in a dispute over election. Federal government is preparing federal government of Somalia. It is preparing to hold direct election uh, in Southwest State, other states of Somalia, but regional presidents are very strong. They're not agreeing to comply with federal government's instruction. They're holding indirect elections. You saw what happened in Jubaland uh, last year when Madobe held indirect election, got himself elected for a term. Federal forces tried to intervene, but federal forces couldn't remove Madobe from power. Federal forces suffered losses and then retreated. Similarly, Laftagarin tried to get himself elected through indirect election 48 hours ago. On the 28th of March 2026, Laftagarin government announced that Abdiaziz Laftagarin had been re-elected through indirect election for another term in office. Obviously, federal government rejected the election. Before that, federal government mobilized forces in Southwest state. The federal forces were supported by some regional elements too. Salvation forces, which are regional forces opposed to Laftagarin. They backed the entry of federal forces in southwest state, and then you saw that today uh, Ethiopia today federal forces and some regional opposition forces, they stormed southwest state regional capital Baidoa. Baidoa has been taken by the federal government of Somalia. Uh, People are questioning the quality of my camera. Just tolerate it. Hopefully, I'll improve. I'll buy a new one in coming days. We'll buy a new mic as well. So lots of expenses in coming days. Uh, so from Bedoa, the president has been removed. He fled. He was at the office which was protected by Ethiopian National Defense Force. Uh, and the airport in Baidoa is also controlled by Ethiopian National Defense Force. But when federal forces and regional opposition forces entered Baidoa, reportedly, Laftagarin fled. Where did he go? We don't know. He's from Gaidu, by the way. Gaidu. His town is located very close to Ethiopian border. He's originally from Gaidu, from Lok, I think. Lok is the name of the area from where he is originally. So he reportedly fled, uh, and people say that an Ethiopian military helicopter evacuated him from Bedoa. Federal forces tried to capture him, they could not. So we can say that for the first time in years, Ethiopian federal government exercised and implemented its authority in a regional state. You know, regional states are weak in uh, Somalia. Regional states are strong in Somalia. Federal government is very weak. But today we saw that Abdul Garin was removed from Bedoa. Ethiopian troops remain neutral. Why? Maybe they knew that Laftagarin was weak. Laftagarin was not in a position to defend himself. That is why Ethiopian troops chose to be neutral. Now, Laftagarin group will fight back. They retreated from capital without fighting, reportedly. But Laftagarin will try to reorganize his forces. Will he fight back? Will the federal government now conduct one person, one vote election in southwest state? Let's see. Ethiopia will be concerned. It cannot afford prolonged conflict between Laftagarin federal forces in southwest, because southwest shares border with Ethiopia. There is Al Shabaab presence too in the area. Ethiopia troops have been fighting Al Shabaab in the area. So Ethiopia would like some sort of normalcy here. Let's see. Overall, we can say this is first political win for Hassan Sheikh government. That Hassan Sheikh government has removed Lafta Garin, a regional president, which stood against federal government, though he was removed through military means, not through political means. This is how, by the way, political change happens in Somalia. Political change needs military force. Ming Hon says his hometown is under federal government control as well. Will he fight back or not, Ming Hon? What do you think? Greenland, just wait. I'll cover all the topics in tonight's live chat. Bayan Ali says, your camera is good. Thank you. I think its resolution needs to be upgraded. It should be 1280 720. It's an old one. I am just testing it. Hopefully, I'll buy a new one in coming days. Hailey Arefani says it seems that fuel shortage is starting in Addis Ababa. I am waiting for my turn since 5 p.m. Since 5 p.m. So it's now 6:48. It means for the last 2 hours, this man has been waiting in a queue to get fuel in the capital. What is happening in the outskirts of main cities in countryside? Alim says there are some of us who will support you and purchase it, but it is difficult to send it to Pakistan. Do you have it? Do you have Wise or Western Union? Well, thank you, Alim. I'll buy it myself, no problem. Thanks a lot for offering to send me money through Wise or Western Union. I can afford to buy a camera. But I remember that 3 years ago, a man bought uh, lights, camera, and he sent the equipment to me. Pakistani customs contacted me. They charged a tax. I paid the tax. Price of the tax was more. The amount of tax was more than the price of the equipment. Still, I paid. I thought that maybe it is a gift for me and I should pay. I paid the tax, which was more than the actual price of the equipment. Still, I did not receive the equipment because when I tried to receive it, they demanded 2 times more tax. So I could not get that equipment. That is why it's not a possibility of getting this equipment from abroad. I'll buy a new cam and mic in coming days. I can afford, no problem. Thank you, Alim. Bakaji says this move opens a new window for Al Shabaab. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ethiopia will like things to settle down and come to normalcy in southwest state. Minghan says, Sajid, no clan militia to back Laftagan. Yeah, you know that those leaders in Somalia are strong, who have clans behind them, who have clan militias. If Laftagarin does not have any large clan militia, obviously he's on his own. Uh, let's have a look at. Thank you, Lilo. Let's have a look at Iran UAE confrontation. Then at the end, we'll talk about Fano, which suffered a blow today. Iran is hitting UAE relentlessly. Today, Iran hit a pipeline, a pipeline, which UAE uses to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz is closed, and countries whose oil exports pass to Strait of Hormuz, they're unable to export oil, like Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan too, I think. They cannot export oil. Why? Because all their oil flows through Strait of Hormuz. Saudi Arabia has an alternative. It can export oil through alternative routes, through Bab al Mandab, through Suez Canal. Iran obviously has alternatives. Iran is controlling Strait of Hormuz, so it can export fuel. UAE exports mainly through Strait of Hormuz, but it has a port which is a little outside Strait of Hormuz, port of Fujairah. So UAE can use this port to export oil, but uh, main pipeline which connects Abu Dhabi with Fujairah was hit by Iran today. At least in two locations, the pipeline was seen burning today. Iranian drones crashed into the pipeline. It has been damaged. It means that if UAE wants to export fuel from Fujairah, which is going to flow from Abu Dhabi to Fujairah, it won't be possible now because pipeline has been damaged. And Iran is hitting UAE's Fujairah port as well. Fujairah port is being hit. Abu Dhabi to Fujairah pipeline being hit. So Iran is not allowing UAE to export even a drop of fuel. UAE can only export fuel through Saudi Arabia. So, and will Saudi Arabia allow UAE to export fuel through its territory? Keeping in view Saudi Arabia wants to make money. It is making money. It has so many orders placed. Uh, Maybe it can allow limited amount of Emirati oil to be exported through its territory. But overall, we're seeing that Iran is not allowing UAE to breathe economically. UAE's economic problems are not ending, though it has threatened to seize Iranian assets worth over 500 billion US dollars. Iran is not backing off, saying that UAE is the main culprit after US and Israel. That is why Iran wants to destroy Emirati economy, just like Iranian economy is being destroyed. Yaqub joined. Welcome, Yaqub. Minghorn says new president of Southwest state is same clan as Laftagarin. Yeah, that's what he expected. That federal government will appoint, but will appoint a man from the same clan. But Minghorn, will one person, one vote election be held in Southwest state or not? And will the new president have the backing of Ethiopian government or not? Okay, last topic, viewers. Sifano and others are saying, let's talk about Fano. Fano suffered a setback today. One of its commanders surrendered, by the way, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Several pro Fano sources claim that this commander was leading operations against military on front lines. They released pictures, they released video statements, but all was false. The Fano commander who has surrendered is from Wollo. His name is Fikro Molia. You can call him a tier 2 Fano commander, not tier 1, tier 2. Tier 1 is Zamine Kasi, Mekatao. Fikro is tier 2 Fano commander. Why did he surrender, brother? What happened? You know, when last year, Wollo Fano launched Abba Nadi operation in Wollo. One Wolofano commander defected partially. He questioned the intervention of Tigray fighters in that operation in support of Fano. He was operating in North Wollo, Woghimra areas, and he was not happy with the involvement of Tigray elements in that operation in support of Fano. And back then, if you remember, there was fighting between Fikro Molia led Fano fighters and Fano fighters of other groups. And then we heard that Fikro Molia was considering surrendering. Later, profano sources claim that the issues between Ficromolia and Fano chief had been solved, and that Ficromolia was fighting on front lines. And last week, we heard that Ficromolia was leading operations against military on front lines. But today, the man surrendered. By the way, once differences emerge between Fano commanders, then differences continue. I've seen that so many times. I mean, Zemine Kasi Skandar dispute could not be solved. Uh, Colonel Fantahun, his dispute with AFNF commanders could not be solved. Masasha's dispute with Zemine Kasi could not be solved. When divisions happen in Fano, generally divisions continue, and one of the parties is either neutralized or it surrenders. This is what happened in the case of Fikram Walia, that he chose to surrender. Field commander, obviously a blow to Fano because he was leading Fano on the ground, and he was operating in North Wolu, close to southern Tagarai. So his surrender matters. It means that within the last 4 to 5 months, Fikromolia was not fully on board with the decisions which had been made by Fano fighters. He was waiting for the right time to surrender, and once he saw the opportunity, he surrendered and laid down arms. Uh, Last week, we saw Shoafano commanders meet. Dasalin and Mekatao were seen sitting together side by side, praising Fano unity, calling for unity in the ranks of Fano. So we can say that largely Fano is united now. AFNM, Fano national movement is united, but there are small issues. Even these small issues are being handled too by Fano as an organization, and those who are not being integrated into AFNM, they're surrendering. Colonel surrendered, Masha surrendered, Fikramoli surrendered. What about Skandar? Well, Minghan, I don't think that it's easy to deploy Egyptian troops to southwest state. Ethiopia will resist. Yes, Turkish drones were part of the operation in support of federal forces against southwest state. That is why federal forces they had air superiority, and Laftagarin militias surrendered and they fled. But I am not seeing the deployment of Egyptian troops in southwest state. Kiye one says, but the Sajid, I prefer your old blackboard than new gray board. Okay, we'll keep on switching the two. Thank you, Volderofile. Thank you for joining. Yakub says, Sajid, what could be behind Oromo PP's recent silence on CXS? Well, they know that their main backer is caught up very badly in the Middle East, and that is UAE. This fuel shortage is leading to another emergency situation in Ethiopia. Ethiopia needs fuel. It wants to hold election. The prime minister wants to hold election very badly. So Abiy is not in a position now to wage any major war. He was never in a position, but he was ready perhaps to make big decisions, to make people suffer just because of his ambitions. But now he has realized maybe that he needs some time. When will the time come? That much to be seen. So Abiy is obviously not interested in waging war now. What about opposition parties? What about opposition groups? Fano, TPL, Ferretia, Ola. TE joined when I'm leaving. Welcome, TE. Israel says you are sounding like Guracha these days. Sometimes I sound like Iaso, sometimes like Guracha, sometimes like Israel Jemane. That just shows that I don't support any one side. Viewers, 33 minutes have passed. I think I should end the live chat. It was good to be with you. We covered three topics. Ethiopian proxy in southwest state Somalia has been removed. Fano suffered a blow. Fikramolia Fano commander has surrendered, and Iran today hit Habshan to Fujairah oil pipeline, thwarting Emirati attempts to export oil bypassing the state of Hormuz. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.